Hi again guys, I'm back with another unboxing. I realise these have been coming quite thick and fast at the moment, and I love that. Obviously I've got a fair few new puzzles in over recent days, which is absolutely wonderful of course. A couple of puzzles in this particular box. I'll do a separate video for each in the name of keeping the video lengths down, because a couple of people have complained about longer ones that I've done, and that way everybody hopefully gets to enjoy the whole thing. Okay, so see which one we grab first. These are all packaged. Can't get them out of the bubble wrap. Alright, there we go. So the first one out is this one. As you can see, this is Calvin Puzzle's new stickerless Super X-xube. The usual nonsense on the box. But yeah, it's a cool, very cool looking puzzle. I do like the way this looks. So yeah, let's get this out of the box and zoom in for a closer look. I have got a few things I want to say about this particular puzzle, but I'll show you once we've got it out and I can show you what I mean. Okay, there we go. Now let's just zoom in on that a little bit. Okay, that's better. You can get a better look at it now. So yeah, this is the stickerless versions, which are all new, and had a stickerless version of this 3x3x5 cuboid series before. The stickerless version is excuse me, definitely an improvement, I think, over the stickered versions, because there were definite problems with the stickered versions having problems with the stickers getting cut. You can see where it turns across the edge of the cube is here. If you have it tensioned anything other than extremely loose, you'd find the stickers were getting scraped and cut where they passed underneath the other cubies. This on the other hand, this turns excellently. This really does turn well. Some of the other ones, they had real problems with being over tightened or something, and the turning quality of them out of the box was pretty atrocious on some of them. That one feels a little bit catchy, and so does that. It's not terrible, but it feels like it's going to need some breaking in, as do these, but you know, it's a fairly complex mechanism inside, so you're going to have some catching in, some breaking in to do, so that's not a big issue. Okay, so when these puzzles were first announced, these two new ones, I was somewhat disappointed for two reasons. First of all, the circles can return like so, and same on the other side, it can be turned just like that. Now I've seen some people, including Crazy Bad Cubers, say that's a really cool feature. I disagree very strongly with this. I think it's a waste of an opportunity to be able to turn these like this. Basically that just makes it the same as the cross cube. If I just grab the cross cube for a second, actually unfortunately I can't do that at the moment because I've got it disassembled to make a different puzzle. But you might see my recent T-cube Extreme and stuff. Well, that's used as parts of my cross cube. So what I've done is I've grabbed my X cube. You see, the difference is, if you imagine this was one face of the cross cube, all you're doing is turning that down like that to make. Now let's go find the blue face and the red face and do the same thing. You can see that even though there's a circle on it, it still gives you exactly the same pattern of pieces afterwards. Let me just do that one more time. If we imagine that this was a whole red face, you know, you've got baby faces sticking out of the side. If you do that, the green face onto the red face and turn it across, you've got a green above and below and a green stripe across the bottom. If I then do that on this one, I've got exactly the same situation going on. So it seems a bit pointless to me to have them turning that way, because it doesn't add anything new to the puzzles at all. However, one thing I also thought was, because you've got these coloured surfaces here underneath each baby face, whereas on the original sets all you had were plain black pieces, so you couldn't tell which piece was which. Now, to begin with, I was thinking, well, this is going to make the solve on this a lot easier, because you can't get any parity possibilities, because you know exactly which piece needs to go where, whereas with the original black puzzles you could get the interior pieces. These are actually basically 3x3 pieces in here. You could get them in any position. You'd have no way of knowing whether they were in the correct position or not. So that's where your parity possibilities come in from. But on these, you haven't got that. So I was thinking, well, that's going to make this even easier. You've got a guide to where everything needs to go. However, on further reflection, it occurred to me that, well, hang on a minute, even though these are black and got the parity possibilities, there's no requirement to actually have them in the same place as the starting point, particularly on the cross cube. I mean, obviously here with the X-cube we've got yellow pieces which have to go on the yellow face. However, each one of those can go either there, or there. However, on this one, they've all got a specific location that they have to be in, so that's actually going to make things different after all. Now, you might wonder why I bought this, even having said all that. You know, if I don't like the way the centres turn, and I thought it might be easier than the other puzzles in the series. Well, I bought them with one thing in mind, and that's to, if you see my recent videos, I can use these centerpieces on them. I can fit these inside to make new versions of puzzle, and they basically all become similar to other super puzzles. Like, I can make it so that one circle is fixed and doesn't turn with the face, and the one on the opposite side could be a one type face which turns with the puzzle normally, but you can't spin it by itself, and other combinations of the same thing. So basically I saw an opportunity to make myself numerous different puzzles for the price of one, plus those centerpieces which I'm already using on the old puzzles as well. So basically it's giving me a whole load of new puzzles possibilities for the price of just one or two, which obviously is good as far as I'm concerned. However, what I'm going to do is obviously solve this in its normal state here first, because, you know, that would it'd be a bit of a waste to start taking it apart and doing different things to it before I've actually solved it in its proper state. So I'll do it a bit of a non-shape-shifting scramble to begin with by just mixing up these circle centres to begin with. And then we'll start mixing up these baby faces, and once again without any shape shifting going on for the moment. Yeah, I like this, it just feels like nice quality. I'm happy with the quality of this puzzle, that's for sure. I normally prefer my puzzles in black, always, but in this situation, with the way this operates, I definitely think the colourless ones, the stickerless ones are the right way to go. I think it works very well for this particular puzzle. So yeah, I think the baby faces can be called about scrambled now, so we can go into some shape-shifting turns and put things on the circles and turn those around. And some random moves to shape-shift it into crazy shapes. A bit of a lock up there. Something's got stuck somewhere. That's it, hopefully. No. Something's definitely got jammed somewhere. I can feel this. It's not lined up right. I don't know what's quite happened there. I think that's it. No, it's still not right. What's going on? There we go. No, it's still. Yeah, that was weird. I got a bit of a lock up there. I couldn't get everything lined up for some reason. But yeah, I mean, it still probably needs a bit of breaking in, as I said before. I'm sure it'll be fine once it is broken in. But yeah, now it's in its shape-shifted state. It doesn't actually feel quite as stable as it did when it was before it was shape-shifted. It doesn't feel terrible or anything. You can see pieces just kind of suddenly ping out of alignment there like that, but so you've got to be a bit careful about how you turn it. Not terribly bad or anything like that, but yeah, I think it's definitely going to need a little bit of breaking in, that's for sure. You can feel that there's a little bit of catching here and there that feel like it will be okay once it's been played with a little while. Okay then, I think I'm going to call that scramble for now. So I'll have a go at solving it and get back to you after it's done and let you know my thoughts. Okay then, so as you can see, the Super X-xube here is now solved again. Solving process wasn't too difficult. It's slightly different from the X-xube, as I showed you earlier, for exactly the reasons I stated. Because of the coloured orientations of these pieces, the solve process you have to do is a bit different. I'm not going to go into any great detail. I don't want to spoil the solving process for anybody. But it's slightly different from the standard X-xube and cross cube. So I was right in my assessment there. It's not horrendously more difficult or anything. Now I do have to revise what I was saying about the turning quality of this puzzle, because I've since discovered that well, you can see there it's just catching terribly. The turning of this when it's in its fully scrambled state is absolutely horrendous. It is horrifically bad. I'm going to have a play with the tensions, see if I can fix it with doing some tensioning, but it is so bad it becomes incredibly unstable when it's in its fully scrambled state. You're constantly trying to line things up and it still catches at every turn. The problem is you get things like this. You see this, how loose this corner piece is here. Now normally you'd think, well, all I've got to do is tighten the tensions up a bit. I mean, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on that. You can see that, that's just wobbling around. Now imagine the entire puzzle is scrambled and every single corner on the puzzle is doing that every time you turn it. It's just catching and unable to turn constantly. It is an absolute nightmare. Now normally what you do with something like that is tighten up the tensions a bit, and that should hopefully fix it. Having said that, the catchiness, I'm not convinced that tightening it is a good idea, because tightening puzzles tends to make them catch a bit more. So I'm going to give it a try, see what happens. Hopefully it will improve the turning, but if it doesn't, then this puzzle may well have to go bye-bye. I might have to just end up selling it back on eBay again, because I hate doing that. I wouldn't want to do that. I've never done it before, but it really is that bad as far as I'm concerned. It is an absolute nightmare. Another thing that happened is, as you're turning these, because the circles spin freely, you accidentally turn this very slightly as it comes past, and of course it gets caught there then, because you don't turn a puzzle by holding it just in its centre, do you, so it'll slide past. You always, or I always, grip the entire side. You see my fingers are on the entire side. I go to turn it, you can see there, it just turns that piece slightly. So trying to get out of that habit might help a little bit. Even so, you can see that entire side is now unable to turn and catch. There it is. It is very frustrating to play with, very difficult to motivate yourself to continue when the turning is really that bad. So what I'm hoping is, once I've tensioned it, that might improve the situation, and also if I put those centre pieces in that affect the circles, that hopefully that might improve things, because once the circles turn freely, then things like that shouldn't be a possibility. That's not going to be able to happen, so that issue goes away at least. Hopefully with some tension tightening and maybe some lube, because of the tightening, the extremely loose corners might hopefully go away. And yeah, so I'll give that a go, and I'll get back to you with my results from that in a little while. Okay then, so as you can see, I've now got the puzzle scrambled again. I've tried playing around with the tensions. First of all, I tightened them, as I said I would try, and that made everything worse. Every inner circle corner caught on every edge piece as you were turning it. It was even more horrendous. Now, so I've tried putting some Mara lube in. That didn't make any real difference. So I took the centre caps off and I retensioned it loosely, and that seems to have done the trick. If you saw the original Scrambler, you probably saw how bad things started to get when it was in its shape-shifted state, and now it's not going to be winning any speed cubing competitions, but it actually turns okay now. You can actually even do finger tricks, which you couldn't before. So yeah, if you get one of these, loosen off the tensions. I did about 2 to 3 turns on each screw, and as you can see, it actually turns a lot better now. There's very little locking up. It does feel slightly unstable. Oh, I say that and then it locks up. It does feel slightly unstable on the corner pieces. Like as I said before, they were a little bit loose, but it doesn't feel any worse for being loosened off, to be honest. I mean, it's not like they're any worse than they were before. So you do have to be careful to make sure things are lined up again, because these circles turn freely. They do have a tendency to turn when you're not looking. Like, you know, you might find the back ones turn slightly because your fingers have turned it around while you're holding it around here or something. But yeah, it's turning massively better now than it was before. So yeah, it's fixable. If it comes in that state when you get one of these, it is most definitely fixable. So yeah, just take all the centre caps off and loosen it off by a couple of turns and put them on and see if it's improved for you. The big centre caps were easy to take off. You just turn them to a side where they poke up and you can grip them and pull them out. The lower centre caps, the centre of the circle sides, they were a bit difficult. I don't know why. The black ones have got like a little nick in there that you can stick a tool in and pop the cap off. These don't seem to have it that I could see, which made it difficult to get something in there to pop them off. I was having to be very careful not to damage it. But yeah, that's it for this video, I think, guys. I've made this a lot longer than I originally intended to do because of the problems I had. But yeah, it's definitely improved. It's a fun little puzzle, but I will be putting those centre pieces in to make the circles behave as I see it properly at some point, and I'm sure I'll show you a video of what that's like at the time. Alright then, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.